Welcome to The Fault Vault. We have two brothers breaking down their business mistakes. Hey, Jared here. Today I'm going to be talking about how frustrating chaos and moving parts can be and how I fix that, or I try to fix that, with processes and keeping my eye on the goal.
And I'm Jay, and I'll be offering an encouragement to the solo business owners out there, as well as talking about what I would have done differently at the very beginning.
See you there, because you will be in that car longer. You're going to get to enjoy that ride for quite a bit longer.
I'd encourage people to do more documentation. I wish I had done. I did what I remember. I said I was going to be getting a new. I shouldn't break up my mistakes. Whatever.
Should they not have told you that they didn't have that cabinet in stock? Welcome to The Fault Vault. I'm Jared, and we have two brothers breaking down their business mistakes. I am the CEO of Worldwide English Services. What we do is we customize and we deliver online English training for businesses and government entities. With me, I have... Who's over there?
I'm Jay. I'm the owner of Craftwood Express Cabinets, and we sell cabinets, and that's pretty much it. Hello,
Good deal. Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Doing good. I picked up that big order that I talked about last week, and so I'm working. I'm here and I'm trying to be present, but my mind is thinking about the mountain of work that I have to do out there. So I have a whole bunch of cabinets to do, which is what I want, but it's tough to get started. I do love the once things get moving and there's some momentum, that's very fun. But the beginning, when I have to walk out there and start going when it's at the beginning and there's a lot to do, so that's where my mind's at. What's going on over there?
Well, before we get to me, I want to ask you a question about that real quick. They talk about the freelancer trap or something like that, where you worry when you don't have enough work because you don't have enough work and you're worried you're going to be living under a bridge next week. And you worry if you have too much work because it's like you have to do too much work. It's a lot of work. And very rarely does it happen where you have just enough work. There is not a big, heavily populated Goldilocks zone in many jobs. So with you were coming out of the porridge was too cold for a while, and now the porridge is piping hot these days. So how is it for you? What are you thinking about that?
Well, it's unfortunately it's lower margin, so I'm trying not to have the feeling that I get sometimes when I have like that big job I had in August, that I could feel myself relaxing because it was like, this is good, this is a good margin, there's a lot of work, money coming in, bills are going to be paid, everything's okay. I found myself relaxed. I'm trying not to do that with this. I need to bang this out as quickly as possible because it's a lower margin and go on to the next one. And yeah, it's, if it was one or maybe 1.5 kitchens or something like that, but this is like, I think this is 3. So this is, it's not a big deal, but I want to get it done by the end of the week, which is going to be tough. So I just want to bang it out. But yeah, no, it's definitely some of that swing because I'm out of practice too. It's kind of going along. Yeah, it is. I haven't been doing orders, so we'll see. That's where I'm at. What's going on over there?
Well, speaking of out of practice, I've been getting some reps in, and that has really helped. Because it always does. I've had a bunch of meetings with clients. Today I had 3 meetings with clients, or potential clients. One is a really big one, a telecoms company here in Saudi Arabia, the second or third largest telecoms provider.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a really big deal, and seemed very positive. Seems like we just need to get to the finish line, and they will bring us on board for next year for Q1. So we'll see. We'll work on that.
Find finish line for us, please.
The finish line. We have. So right now we're at this stage. We're at a dangerous stage where verbally everybody likes each other. What happens next, though, and maybe you see this as well. What happens next is that the rubber has to meet the road. And this is when things can get derailed. So you get to this point, it's all fun and games because you're just sitting there talking, and that's not hard to do, and everyone enjoys that. Many people enjoy that. Then we have to figure out, okay, now we actually have to get procurement involved. Now we actually have to get we have to get approval from management. Now we have to figure out who we're going to do, who we're going to train English. Now we have to set aside our budget. Now I have to figure out, like, wait a second, if I'm going to do all that, I know Jared talks a good game, but will they execute as well? So how much risk am I willing to take? How far am I willing to stick my own neck out to buy in and what Jared is selling, and go through all of that headache to execute on the project. So what we need to do now, and what I'm working on doing, especially in these cases where it's a very big company and there's a lot of moving parts, is just gradually moving through that process and helping people through it.
Nice.
So that's next. I gave him 3 options that we can do for gradually ramping up, because what happens in Arab countries, they like to do everything big or not at all. So either they're coming in with a multi-million-dollar project because they have in their mind this image of a year from now when they've spent all this money, but they have this amazing project and they can post on LinkedIn about how I ran the best project in the kingdom for English training. We trained 2,000 people. Everyone loves me. I am feted as a hero in the company. And then, so they have that in their mind. That's great. But having 20 people to do an English course, you don't really get to be feted as a hero for that. So they have in mind that they want to do that multi-million-dollar project, but then it comes time that they realize, like, actually, oh wait, I don't want to risk my job and reputation, everything, for a multi-million-dollar project, and that's when the problem hits.
Or
this guy seems like
a million hoops to get there.
It's really tough to get there. I have not been able to crack that code. I think you have to have connections. You have to be there, kind of coddling people the whole way, taking them out to eat to make sure you stay on top of them. You stay like the nerves don't get to them. You just have to kind of pat them on the head all the time. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay until you get there. So that's what I suppose.
What's your general disposition? What's your general attitude when it comes to guiding them through that process of everything's good, going from everything's good, we're talking, everybody likes each other, we like the idea of this, but now rubber's hitting the road, pain points, there's doubt, budget, higher ups get involved. What's your general attitude?
Making them feel understood and always understanding what the next step is.
Yeah.
What I mean by the first one is if there's a disconnect between them feeling like they're under pressure from their management or from their procurement team or from the legal team and from you and from me. So if management is saying, I don't know about this, and I'm saying, when are you going to make a decision? They get caught in the middle, and that's very off-putting, especially if they're already a kind of a worried about what's going on. And the easiest thing for them to do generally at that point is to just run away.
Yep.
So like today I talked about, I had told him, we were talking about procurement, and he was warning me that it's a big company, procurement can take a while. And I said, oh, don't worry. I'm surprised that I don't have all gray hair just from dealing with procurement. In fact, I'm losing my hair, and I'm pretty sure 2% of the reason is genes and 98% is procurement. And he laughed about that. So it's making sure that he understands, like, no, I get the game. I get it, bro. We're good. I got you. I'm not going to be another pressure point. And the reason you and I, in our point of view, the reason why we often put pressure on people is because we're not sure what's going on. And so if we know what's going on, if we have all right, the next step is 2 weeks from now, we have a call and we're talking about this because this is the resolution we need at that point. Then we don't have to have that pressure. We don't have to be calling them up like, hey, so have you heard from management? Like, how you doing? And that's just frustrating, annoying for everybody. So I find those two things really help. With that said, I don't have a whole ton of experience. That's more theory. I'm putting it into practice now, and we'll see how it goes.
But you're in the process right now, so that sounds great. That's a good. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be successful. We'll see.
Hopefully, yeah, we will.
Yeah.
we'll see. But it has been very helpful just having more conversations with clients,
Yeah.
because when we have these conversations about mistakes, the tough part is if you make a mistake, you draw the conclusion from it, and you don't get into that situation again for 3 more months. You're going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah.
So you have to get the reps in and build good habits. So but focusing a lot on not overselling, not oversharing, some of the things we've been talking about here, and it feels like it's going better. But yeah,
Excellent.
that's it over here.
Nice.
But how about enough of us kind of patting ourselves on the back? Because we also, on occasion, rarely, very rarely, once in a blue moon, when the cows come home, make a mistake. So how about over to you? What's a mistake you made recently?
Well, I'm gonna start with it's mine today is that I'm a perfectionist and that I'm just no I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I put a lot of pressure on myself to be the best. My confidence has not been as high. I'll say a small win that I had yesterday that pertained to an older mistake. A very small win, but I went to pick up everything, all the cabinets, and one of them was missing. And I could see that just because it's a unique cabinet. I was like, all the cabinets just getting, I was waiting for this one. I was like, what's going on with that? So my normal thing would have been they can't do anything about it right now. I'm just going to go back and I'll deal with it then. But instead, I was like, you know what? I need to push. I need to push for this. And so I went looked up what was going on. It was on my order. It was on my confirmation. I was charged for it. So there's no reason why it shouldn't have been there. So I went back into the office and talked to the person, my contact there in the office. She went to look for it, went back to look for it, and then she's like, we don't have any in stock. Well, actually, she came back and she said, we don't have any in stock. There's none here. It's out of stock. That's the reason why you don't have it. But that was all she said. It's like, which is crazy to me. It's like, I'm the customer. Where's the solution to the problem? So there's another opportunity for me to not just accept that, but to push further kindly or respectfully, obviously all that politely, but to get what I need and deserve as the customer. I shouldn't say deserve. What I need, the information that I need.
What you're paying for.
What I'm paying for. So I asked her, like, so, is it coming in soon? What's the solution here? And she came back and said it's not going to be on any of the next 3 trucks that I have coming in to restock the warehouse next week. So I don't know. So I was like, okay, well, there's nothing more I can do here. I'm not going to get it today. So I need to get back because I had other things to do and I had to receive another order here. And so that was good that I pushed for it. Then I emailed my contacts last night and said, hey, I asked her, here's the situation. What are my options? Because I wanted her to tell me some options. She goes, and she just responded not too long ago. I need to respond to her. And she said, they just put it, I just added to this order that I'm going to have to pick up there was other back order stuff. And so I might push to see if she could ship it to me at my pickup rate anyway. But it was a good thing that I did not back off from a slightly inconvenient, slightly uncomfortable situation. And I was pushing for it. And it was another reminder, even as I was doing stuff with all the guys there, that having our own business and being the person that pushes everything forward, like nobody else, it's like water. It's like we're going into a pool of water and the water is not going to move for us. It's just not. The people doing their job, they just want to do their job. They're in their world and that is totally fine. But if we can apply some sort of pressure and say, hey, I want to belong here. I need to occupy this space. I need you to do this for me. And there's nothing that's not in their job description, nothing that's inappropriate. It's not pushing them to do something they shouldn't be doing or that is outside of the realm of being reasonable, but just asking for what we need in a moment because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody, unless they're just a star employee and they're like, hey, let me go track this down. Every once in a while you meet those people and that's great. And those are people that every business wants to hire, hopefully, because that special spark is to be like, I see a problem, let me take initiative and go. But it's not reasonable to expect people to be like that. And that's totally fine. I do not care at all. But it's my responsibility to to push for those things when I'm in that situation. And it was a minor one, and I did it, and I could feel it was nice as I, for some reason, had some energy, and I was more comfortable and confident. I could deal with them. Like I'm telling them where to put the stuff, and I'm asking them, here, put it right here. I'll unload it myself, blah, 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 blah. And so that felt good to not be on my back foot, not to be relaxing, not to be I had some of the control, and I was pushing for what I need. And when I left, the water closed back up. Nothing happened. I mean, I don't think, it's not like they're all going to be gathered around and be like, oh man, he was really annoying. Because I wasn't. I was very polite and kind. And so there was really no downside. It's just asking for a piece of the pie. And so I think that's a good reminder.
Should they not have told you that they didn't have that cabinet in stock?
No, but I think if I was the office manager there, I would have presented my customer with the solution.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you mean. As far as from their perspective, it's not my place to tell. Obviously that's their thing, and I have no control. But me as a customer, if I was the boss over there, I would never present a problem or identify a problem or verify that there is a problem in front of a customer without providing a solution right away. That just doesn't seem, because then you're just sitting there both looking at each other, and then the client has to say, well, what's the solution? Or they walk away and they're just unhappy, but it elevates everything. So that's just a general thing, an encouragement to everybody. If you have your own business, if you have some sort of venture, anything creative or business or whatever it is, make sure you're kindly, respectfully, persistently pushing forward for what you need and what you deserve. Whether you're going down to the office of the what's that called? Where we in a community, a state, local office, and you need to find out some information. Just go there, ask them, find the people that's their job to do these things, and ask them what the information is and push for what you need. And if something's not what you need, then ask it to be different if it's within the realm of reasonable and part of their job description. Anyway, my thing that I would go back and change actually is different. I'd encourage people to do more documentation. I wish I had done. I did what I remember. I said I was going to be getting the new. I shouldn't break up my mistake. Whatever. I remember I said I was getting the new.
That can be your mistake for next time.
Yeah. Not speaking coherently. One of the kitchens I was getting was going to be the new color, the new stain. And so, yes, I was like, you know what, I'm stressed about this, but like, let me just do what I said I was going to do. So I got the camera out. I was doing a little thing. I made a little video. I was filming some stuff. I don't know if I'll use it. We'll see. But it was good that I did it. And I did that. And I was thinking how great it would have been to take that extra time and to have documented the process just on TikTok. I picked the platform, probably would have been TikTok, and only posted this sort of video there, like the behind the scenes and stuff like that, since it wouldn't work as well for me, at least on Facebook, because then it's opening the door a little bit too much. I mean, I welcome people into my home or something like that. It's a little bit intimate, but I also encourage people to do that if we see these people online doing it, and it takes a lot of work. It's a whole extra step. And then not only in the moment and breaking up your flow of doing the cabinet or unloading this or doing whatever, just stop and film and think about the angle, and it's something creative in the middle of something that's not creative at all. But to do that, I think will be, then to go and edit it later. But I do think that that's a good way, because people buy into story, more so than other things. And I think that's always a good, even if, I just think that would be a great idea. So I had that idea in the beginning, I just didn't do it. And I do regret that. I'm not saying that it absolutely would have worked. I'm going to sneeze. It was too strong until
there are a variety of,
like community.
The variety of sneezes you can have. Yes. There's the one where you draw people in, and then maybe you don't sneeze.
A show called Community. That's a classic moment. But usually I would stifle it if it was in a public settings. I hate sneezing in public, but then I felt too strong, but I didn't just let it all out. So it was an in-betweener. Anyway, let's keep it moving. I would have documented from the beginning probably on TikTok. That's it. That's my looking back.
That's a good one. It sounds like I really like that progress on standing up for yourself and what you need to get. We could talk another time. We come back to that. There's some really good tools. Like Chris Voss has really good tools.
Nice.
I really enjoy saying something like, it seems like I need to come here. I have to give this to my client. This cabinet, and it's not here, and you're not giving me a solution. That doesn't seem like that's a fair way of handling things. Am I wrong about that? And kind of like just putting my view of the situation and then putting it on the other person. That really dumps a lot of heat on them. And if you do it like calmly with a smile on your face, they're not going to be super thrilled because you are pushing them, but you're pushing them to do their job. And that at the end of the day, like, well, tough, gotta do the job.
Yeah, on mine
for sure.
Yours, yeah. I don't know if that would have, because it wasn't quite in her power to give me a full solution. It's just that she didn't. There was nothing there. But no,
she can always say. No, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, I'll go. She can always say, oh, I really don't know. Let me call my manager or something. She can bring in the people who are capable of doing it. It's just a way of being like, pretty strongly, here's my side of the situation. Now what's our plan? Oh, yeah, for sure.
No, for sure.
And generating content is important. That's what we're doing here. And we both got to start doing that soon in other avenues. We're both going to be on TikTok, I think. So, we're going to link it right here. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if it'll be ready by the time we post this. So if not, probably not. But we'll be posting on TikTok and we'll be stars really soon. We're going to be big stars.
Gross.
Don't worry. It's not going to change us. We'll still be down to earth. One of those. I can't talk. Good thing I don't teach English. Okay. So over to me. My mistake. This was something that happened today. We've talked about this a little bit. Oh, well, no, we have talked about this in different areas, but this is about the importance of process. Today, things got a little bit confused in our team. So I have a friend who's helping me making calls because she speaks Arabic, and also because we're just trying to make the company look bigger. I could not care less. And people in other countries don't really care, that I've seen at least. But in the Middle East, looks are very important. So if it looks like the CEO is running around, I don't know, driving his own car and making his own coffee, which I don't drink, then it's like, okay, these guys, I don't know what's going on with them, but I don't want to work with them. So just to try to give us a little bit of heft, and how the CEO obviously doesn't call people himself gross. Then she's been doing some calls. So she does that. I have my sister Vasala, who she sets up a lot of things. Like with this particular client, I ran the sales call with them. My friend was calling to just check up on them. She brought in the lead and she was sort of organizing the process. And Vasala was setting up the trial lesson. So there was a lot of moving parts, and things got really chaotic because I hadn't really, trained but prepared my friend well enough to understand what our objective is. We talked afterwards, and what I talked to her about was that we're always looking for the next step. We're always agreeing on the next step. Actually, just what I mentioned earlier. Always agreeing on the next step and always bearing in mind what our objective is. So if we have a chance to shortcut to the objective, we do it, and we always understand. We work with a client, like once we get to the end of whatever stage we're at, then we say, when we even push for it, like, okay, what's our next step? Are we signing the contract for the kitchen? Or am I calling you in a week? What's our next step? But because there were so many moving parts, and because my friend was doing this, who doesn't have a lot of experience in sales, and I hadn't prepared her well. Things got a little bit chaotic, and so we kept it in-house. I don't think the client really saw the chaos, but it took up a lot of time and energy for me trying to figure out, okay, here we said this. Now, we told the client that we were going to have a second trial lesson, but we hadn't actually agreed on that with the client. Like one person said that, but the other people hadn't agreed on that with the client. The client gave us positive feedback, but nobody said, like, okay, so should we sign a contract? And we didn't really know what the next step was. So there's a lot of chaos and moving parts. And so we figured it out at the end of the day. Like, we figured it out in-house, but it was at the cost of a lot of time, a lot of messaging back and forth, a lot of coordination that took up a lot of my time and a lot of mental energy, because trying to figure out the solution to problems that we were kind of causing in the process. So ultimately, I bit the bullet. We decided the trial lesson we taught with them was only so-so, although they said their feedback was positive, and they're going to go do trial lessons with some other providers. And we'd be better off giving them another trial lesson. And this is actually their fault, because we asked what the student's level was. Nobody told us. So we guessed based on the people we knew, and we guessed wrong. So the students came in at a very low level, and the lesson was difficult for them. And so, actually I just realized one other thing we didn't do. We have a checklist, and I need to follow up with my assistant, because she didn't send the checklist over to the client of what needs to happen, of the policies for the trial lesson. A lot of the students showed up late. A lot of them didn't turn their camera on, and we need to wrap things up. What I started to do in that process, and what I need to do much more in the future, is just hammer home on all of these points. Who's responsible for what? When do they do it? What is our objective? When we have a trial lesson, how does that happen? When one person finishes the trial lesson, who do they hand off to? And what does that person then do? So that everyone doesn't have to keep coming back to me. Jared, what do I do next? Jared, I said this. How about now? Jared, they came back to me and said this. What do you want me to respond? I don't want to be the one deciding. Like, I'll write them. If I have to come up with everything, then I'm just going to do it. I don't care.
Yeah, that's so properly trained. Yeah, that's on you.
Yep.
Wow.
So it was, what we decided was, we're just going to give it a week and a half, and we'll check back in a week from Sunday, see where they're at, see if they've had those other trial lessons, and play it by ear. If we decide that we think they're kind of slipping away, then we might suggest another trial lesson, but if not, we'll try to land them from there. And we gave it a good shot. The teacher is a really good teacher. The lesson was a good one. It just didn't come across very well because the client kind of didn't cooperate, and we didn't hammer them to make sure that we didn't hold their hand and walk them through the process.
Yeah, it's tough to guess. It would have been obviously better to be able to have the answer to that question of if that has so much to do with the quality, like if that's going to affect the quality of the lesson so much, knowing what their level is, whatever. But no, that sounds frustrating, because not only it's inefficiency multiple ways, and so it'd be nice to have that more streamlined. Hearing all that though, it is a lot of moving parts, and that's tough. It's tough to have systems for all of that, and because at the end of the day, and I hear this a lot in the way that you talk, the client has a lot of power, and
yeah, of course,
yeah, and that's just the nature of it. And so you can have all the systems in the world, and you're still going to have to go off both, but to get all those normal things down, obviously. Yeah, there you go.
Here's the big one. There were two big ones that stood out to me in terms of when the client went off book. Like the client asked, I think they asked for 2 sessions, but then they kind of forgot about that, because clients ask for things and they forget about it later on, or they say they want something and later on it's like, here I've been, like, I wrote everything down. I prepared everything for you. And what happened? Like, okay, I guess we forgot about that. But with my assistant setting things up, having all that information and pressing for it, so she knows that she has the authority to do that, and to be to be tougher, to say like, we can't provide you a really good product unless you do this from the very beginning. And then for my friend who was working on this, what I talk with her about is always understand the objective, always, always, always. So there's no, like, if we have our process in place and the client throws a wrench in the process, but we see a shortcut to the finish line, then go, that's fine. Go to the finish line, because the process is there to serve an end.
Yeah.
To get to the objective. So if you can get to the objective, right, do it. Cool. So yes, we'll see. Hopefully everything will go well, but yeah, it's a little frustrating. And some good lessons to learn.
Go, let's get those processes going. Nice. Do we have anybody that's going to be able to? Do we have any sponsor for today?
We actually do. Yes, and it's. This is actually a local one in Saudi Arabia. Though it's more than just in Saudi Arabia. It's a taxi company, Careem. If you have you ever used Careem while in your travels?
I have not.
I think they're in Turkey. I don't remember, but they're in a number of different countries here in the Middle East. But they do food delivery, taxi services, etc. But it's their taxi side that is sponsoring us today, which is really cool. I use them all the time. So it's really great to be able to have somebody sponsoring us who we use. Yeah. So what I really appreciate about them and what they asked us to convey to you guys is the reason why you want to go for Careem. There are really two big reasons. One reason is if you are somewhere that you really enjoy being and you order a taxi, the taxi says it'll be there in 5 minutes. They give you the joy of actually spending 20 more minutes at the location where you are. Because the taxi, it's never going to come there exactly on time. It's always going to come a good 10, 15 minutes later. So you get to relax, you get to kick back, you get to enjoy the scenery. Yeah, it's really fantastic. And then on the other side, when you're driving somewhere and it says you're going to be there in 20 minutes, and you're just feeling like, oh man, this ride is going to be over too quickly. Yeah. Oh, you're worried. Why is going? Because you're just enjoying it. You're looking at seeing the skyscrapers flow by the window, checking out the scenery, and you're thinking that 20 minutes, like it's just not enough. It's not enough, because you will be in that car longer. You're going to get to enjoy that ride for quite a bit longer. So it's really fantastic. So we love Careem around here. We ride them all the time, and we're really happy to have them. And we want you to use our promo code for sure. So if you get 5% off 5 rides with them if you use our promo code, which is just take longer. It's all lowercase. No spaces or anything. So it's just take longer. Plug that in. You get your promo code. Make sure you use that because you're supporting us while you do it. So thank you so much, everybody.
That's amazing. Yeah, sometimes, I know you do your best thinking in the shower. I actually, believe it or not, do the best thinking when I'm riding in the car that I'm not driving. And so for me, it really would work out well, because then I'd be making money in there. Think about all those ideas that would come to mind while
for sure
here longer. So that's really,
and when that taxi gets there,
and
when the taxi gets there quickly, it actually does, which makes a lot of sense, because you are getting all that extra value out of it. So why wouldn't you pay more? Yep. And besides, it's the more you spend, the more you save. So once you're getting that 5% back, like you're getting a 5% back from a larger amount, which means you're getting more money back. It's a great deal all around. It's very it's amazing. It's really amazing.
You should work for the World Bank. Anyway, should work for.
I don't understand the connection, but we'll do it.
We work for JP Morgan, really emphasizing that you get more money back. The more you spend, the more you save.
Yeah.
You're back.
Yep.
Wonderful.
But yes, all right. So thank you for your time, brother of mine. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next time. Have a good one.
On the fall.